did that. Okay. The important thing here that I want to emphasize, because you can go with external or internal consultants or coaches, the advantage with the internals is that you have the organizational knowledge and the technical expertise, and that you're developing internal networks as you go along. But it's not free. It takes time. It takes a commitment of resources to accomplish this. We have not actually figured out the cost, but because that was one of the things Cheryl asked for, I put this in here. If we were going to, this is the formula we would use. We would look at the average salary of the mentors and multiply that by the average number of hours. In our case, it's about 36 total hours, maybe a little more because we're not counting travel time here. And then what I didn't add is we would multiply that by 20. We had 20 mentors. And that would be our formula for the cost. So let's jump into what is a mentor, and that's what Catherine was getting at. It's a trusted and credible leader. So this definition, it's actually an excerpt from our definition, but it kind of becomes a criteria of what we're looking for. We're looking for people that have credibility, that are trusted, really important, who are farther along in their careers. They know something. They know things that the partner, the mentee, doesn't know yet because they're farther along in their career. And really important, they're willing to share that knowledge. They get pleasure from sharing it. They get satisfaction. There's a meaning in transferring that knowledge to others. I've talked about that partnering to support learning, the support and expertise and encouragement that they provide. They participate in collaborative problem solving. So the idea is not to just provide the answers when obstacles or problems come up, but to work with their partner, helping them develop their thinking skills, their analytical skills, their ability to face challenges. They gather and provide feedback in a non-judgmental way, and as I talked about, they support accountability, taking responsibility. What are the fundamental skills? Well, first of all, you need to be able to listen. And it's easy to talk about listening, but harder thing to actually do it. We practice and train our mentors on the idea of practicing self-management. And part of what we mean by that is all the talk that goes on in your head while you're hearing someone else speak, that keeps you from being able to listen. So developing an awareness of that and coming back to listening. Another part of self-management is not jumping in to provide the answers all the time, to provide the solutions, because it's very easy when people come to you with problems to say, oh, I would do it this way, and this is what I've done. And what we want to encourage our mentors to do is to, again, be a thinking partner and help their partner develop the skills to be able to approach the problems and come up with their own solutions. And part of the way you do that is by asking powerful questions, asking open-ended questions. I've talked a lot about that timely, non-judgmental feedback, which is part of what makes it safe to take the risk, to try new things, and the supporting accountability. In terms of that accountability, I mentioned at the beginning that we ask all our participants to create an individual development plan, and the plan identifies specific steps that they will do in addition to participating in the academy, what they will do, when, by when, and to report back to the mentors about it. They're also reporting to the program administrators, and they have to submit that IDP. Initially, they did it at the very end, and one of the things we changed is that they submit an individual development plan much earlier, so they get a chance to get feedback on it and revise it. In terms of support for the mentors and the training we provide 2 formal training sessions. The first one is a program orientation which is also it happens on our kickoff day. So we have a celebratory kickoff where the managers are there, the sponsors are there, and, you know, very feel good, congratulations, etc. And after they leave, the mentors and the partners stay, the participants stay. And so we want everyone to hear the same thing about the program, what the expectations are about the program. We talk about the program components, what we're expecting, the support, the expertise shared, the accountability. Those are some of our expectations. We talk about the different roles. What does it mean to be a mentoring partner and a mentor? And then we go over the protocols for the mentoring program. And 4 of the main points in that protocol is some guideline about how often partners will meet. And we say 2 to 4 hours a month. You can meet more often if that works out, but this is like the minimum that we're expecting. We ask the mentors to make a 6 to 12 month commitment. For the Lead Academy, it's been 6 months. With Pathways, our Superintendent Academy, we ask people for a year commitment as coaches. We encourage partners to talk about confidentiality. What does that mean? To be really clear with each other about what does it mean? Nothing we say to each other can be shared with others, or we'll talk to each other, this specifically is confidential, etc. Not to assume that both people understand what it means to maintain confidentiality. And then we provide a no-fault divorce, which is really important especially in recruiting mentors, because we tell them if you find it really does not work, you know, we try to support them so it will. But if the relationship does not work, we'll let you get out of it. We're not going to say you're a horrible person or anything. We'll just try to come up with a different match. And actually, we've never had that problem. So this mentoring orientation or training is very interactive and fun because our goal is to have the participants, this is the first time that they come together as a group. So, and at the end of this session, the participants have to give us the name of 5 people they would like to be matched with as a mentor. So our goal is to have a lot of activities where they kind of rotate and get to know each other so that they come up with those 5 names. We have provided to them, before they get to the orientation, we provided the participants copies of the mentoring profile is what we call them. It's a sheet. The mentors have responded to some questions about themselves. So they've had a chance to review that before they come into training. They go through this training, and at the end, they come up with 5 names of people they would want to be matched with. We talk about the phases of the relationship because they're all a little anxious. How is this going to go? I'm going to be working with someone I don't know. And that it starts out with that connecting phase, which is kind of awkward. And then as you get to know each other, there's that creation, the create phase, where there's actions taken, the create the development plan and maybe some other actions that are taken. And then a closing to the relationship. We find that most of the time, I would say at least probably about 70% of the time, the people maintain the relationships informally. They may not meet as often, but and which is wonderful, but we want them to at least to really formally acknowledge the closing of the mentoring relationship as part of this program. And then we talk about coaching skills, the listening, the feedback. How do you want to receive feedback? Are you better off if it's like direct and to the point, or do you want me to be, gentle with you, etc.? The accountability. And we take some time beginning to work on development plans, the development plans. This is something that we added as we went along. We realized that it was really important right at the beginning for both sides to understand what the expectation was about creating those development plans. After that initial training, the mentors come back the following week, and it's just the mentors then. So we do a kind of a review. It's an opportunity for them to ask any nagging questions left over to get some clarification. We have the mentors do the DISC style inventory, We've had the participants do that separately.